Hello, everybody. My name is Sabina, and I'm head of research cooperation at EdTech Estonia. I'm really sorry I can't be there in person, but I'd love to tell you a little bit more about EdTech and EdTech in Estonia more specifically. So let's start with the basics. What is EdTech? EdTech stands for educational technology, which we here understand as a company who is providing either a service or solution that benefits any actor in education more broadly. So whether it's a learner, whether it's a parent of a learner, a teacher, head of school, maybe a speech therapist or other support personnel, much more, you can look at it much more broadly than just what is being taught in school. And it definitely has to have a technological element as well. So education and innovation, and it should solve a problem in education. I heard from one investor once that their investors are looking for a painkiller, not a vitamin. So EdTech should be solving an actual issue in the market that they are targeting and with the customers that they are targeting, instead of just having something extra that might be nice but isn't necessary. So that is really broadly what EdTech is. EdTech Estonia is the umbrella organization for Estonian educational technology companies. We have 54 members. The majority of those are startups. The oldest one has been around since 2002. So you have, a lot of countries just had a boom with COVID and moving away from in-person learning, but Estonia has had digital education elements much earlier on, which already also makes it much easier to convince schools, parents, and learners to use technology in education as well. So as the umbrella organization, our job is to help uh, the companies gain more traction in Estonia, but also outside of Estonia, because Estonia is such a small market. So by the time the companies reach us, they're all looking towards export. And I think that's a really important element. Even companies that are, that were born in a bigger country, export is still really of interest to them. Estonian companies are targeting, well, if we speak about Europe, they're targeting Germany, they're targeting the UK, Poland, and the Baltic countries. But also, for example, Spain is quite up and coming, Belgium and that region. So it really is about finding the right moment and the right solution when it is needed in what area. And that can depend on policy. I mean, looking at Estonia, the switch from um, partially Russian-based learning to completely teaching in Estonian meant that there was suddenly a larger need for Estonian language learning solutions. And that was one way that our companies could gain traction. And similar things happen in different countries, maybe a new policy for digitization of a certain sector, or maybe more emphasis on adult learning. So it really depends on the right moment. It can't just be, let's look at the biggest country with the most students or with the most adults or learners that need something. It is really about finding the right moment. Another important aspect is also finding the right customer for your solution. So you have to understand who would actually pay the money for it. So if you're targeting schools, it might be a little bit easier. In some countries, the head of schools can decide what solutions they use. But in other countries, it would be the municipality or even some political organs. So you have to understand who's actually paying. If you're targeting teachers individually, that is going to be a really tough one because you have to kind of reach each one of them. So it's understanding who your customer is and what is happening in the target markets, where you could actually jump in. So sometimes it really is about finding that right connection who is willing to pilot, your solution in that country, and from there it could really come in waves, and your success or your market share could change quite quickly. So this was just about Europe, but outside of Europe, I would say right now Kenya, Uganda, in Africa are quite popular for Estonian EdTech. This is because there were quite a lot of projects coming in from that region. For example, with ESTEV, the Estonian Development Agency, sorry, which is the executive branch of the foreign ministry. So the companies saw a possibility to start cooperation through a project, and then maybe gain more traction, get the contacts, and then move forward from there. But also, Brazil, Vietnam, there's really Estonian EdTech is everywhere. So I think, the main trends are difficult to say because it changes quite quickly. The war in Ukraine changed directions, especially for Eastern Europe and European EdTech. But and also there is a downward turn for startup funding as a whole. During COVID, there was a big boom of EdTech, which has slowed down. So it's that also is something that needs to be kept in the back of your mind when you're looking at where your EdTech could go. But right now in Estonia, most of the EdTechs are targeting K-12 or general education. And I would say number two is adult education. So this could be either corporate learning, because there's money in corporate learning, or adult education in terms of reskilling. There is a big need for educated staff who have digital skills in almost all of the sectors these days. So in Eastern Estonia, there were jobs, for example, in mining. And now these jobs maybe aren't necessary in that way anymore. So these people need to have more up-to-date IT skills. There aren't many solutions in Estonia that target the higher education market, just because foreign solutions are already covering this market. So it really is also about looking at, if are many countries targeting the same, slice of the market. So there isn't such a need to do that, but that can depend on the country. There are other countries where there are much more solutions for higher education. And I would say one kind of hole that could be filled is vocational education, because there aren't that many solutions, but I think there is a need for those in Estonia. So I think this is a area which could really benefit from fresh ideas and necessary solutions. So this is really broadly about kind of the trends. The trends is those are also something that you could, if you're interested in what's happening in a country, try and find out who the umbrella organization in that country is. So most countries in Europe do have an umbrella or even multiple umbrella organizations for EdTech, whether it's Sweden, whether it's EdTech Poland, there's one in Switzerland, Austria, and so on. Try and see who their members are. If you go to our website, edtechestonia.org/members, you can have a look at our members, and all the other organizations will have something similar. So you can see what kind of solutions are homegrown and what areas do they cover, so you can kind of see where there are still holes that could be covered with new and fresh ideas. So this is one tip I would give you. But EdTech Estonia as a whole, other things that we kind of try to work with is working with the government. We try to, be have a seat at the table at the Ministry of Education when new laws are being proposed that involve education and technology. We also work together with the Foreign Ministry, for example, with their export strategies. We work together with universities, through similar projects as this one, but we understand that the development of really sensible EdTech solutions is what is needed. In Estonia, people are really open to trying new things, but in some more traditional countries, there is still the question, should we use a book or should we use educational technology? And there, it is really important to have the studies, to have the knowledge behind a new solution, to really encourage people that this will benefit the learner and isn't detrimental in any way. So this will really help the companies get into those markets. So that's why we cooperate with universities. We do hackathons to get new, fresh ideas. We try to have a hub so that there is one central place that EdTech interested people and the companies could gather. So we've been around for 4 years. We're still quite a young organization, but all our board members are EdTech founders themselves. So it's really is about trying to find what is of value to the companies. Some might need help pitching, whereas others have been around for 10 years and are in 8 foreign markets. So it's really about finding what the stage of the company is and where could we be of use to them. And really the sky is the limit. We look at education in a really broad sense. So that also involves education and health and education and finance and outdoor learning and people with different needs. It's the sky really truly is the limit when it comes to education. And we definitely welcome all sorts of ideas and companies into our midst because I think community is something that's really important. If one company kind of gets a foot in the door, it benefits all Estonian educational technology companies. And as they've been around for 20 plus years, parents want them, teachers want to, have different tools to teach with. And I think there are some interesting years coming ahead, but I definitely don't think that education and technology are going anywhere, especially seeing the great PISA results in Estonia and also the amount of unicorns we have. So definitely looking forward to seeing where it goes. But I would say this is it from my side. If you do have any questions or comments, hello@edtechestonia.ee. Or as I said, edtechestonia.org is the website. So shoot us an email and good luck.